Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yeah, thank you very much for attending this session about the performance of AL-MAHA for the last year, and really welcome all the investor and interest for any clarification or any questions or any suggestion for development. We are very open to listen and also try to clarify if there is any clarification needed for our results. My name is Hamid. I am the CEO of the company, and next to me here, the CFO, Mr. Hirana. With us also Shayma. She is the coordinator for the public relation, investor relation in the CIA in AL-MAHA company.
Can you present that? Can you present this slide?
Mungkin mana semasa ya, mana semua.
Hello, good morning, team. Thank you. Is there a presentation, or are we going straight into the questions and Q&A session?
Because since we already published all the results, so I think it's better to go straight to any clarification or questions you have.
We can just present one slide, which will give you brief details about the financial performance, as you can see in the chairman report. So our sales have, you can see sales, which have grown up by 32% compared to 2021. And in our 30th year of operations, we are proud to say that we have achieved the highest sales in real money terms in 2022. And then you can see the net profit growth of 124% over 2021. And the earning per share also has gone up by 124% to reach 0.90 paisa, 90 paisa per share. And our retained earnings also have grown up by 10%, which is 36 million. And our total equity has gone up by 8%, 47 million. So, and full details have been given in the chairman report and the financial statements. So we would like to go straight to see your questions. Basically, this is your forum, so we'd like to spend more time interacting with you, answering your questions. And I'm sure you've all gone through the financial statements and all the annual report documents what we have given to you. So I'm sure you have gone through that. We can start this session. So we welcome you to ask any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. If I may ask the first question, can you give us some more color on your operational performance in terms of the average throughput volume and the revenue from the retail segment, the commercial segment, from different segments, and how these segments are performing in terms of quantifiable aspects, like the operational profitability of these segments, the revenue, the volume, and all these more detailed information. Will it be possible for you to share with us?
Yeah, sure. Just we can just know the sales growth. What is the in terms of retail, commercial?
What's the question?
Just are you looking at just segmental information? Madam,
yes.
Good name, please. Good name, please.
Can we know who you are and from where?
I'm sorry. Yeah, my name is Joyce. I'm from United Securities.
Okay, basically we have given the sales growth in the management discussion analysis. Yes, we can give you a brief details about our segment growth. Our retail sales has gone up by 21% compared to 2021. So our commercial sales have gone down by 7%, and aviation sales, which is highest growth achiever this year, it has seen a growth of 91%. So of course, we will not be able to go in detail about the profitability of these each segments in this particular session. So just to give you the brief growth of sales as we indicated in the management discussion analysis. Is that okay with you?
So, you have said this 21% growth is primarily due to the increase in volume at the border stations. How is the situation right now during this year? Are we still maintaining a strong volume growth in the border stations, or has that growth is decelerated primarily because of the lower differential between the prices?
See, if you see last year, the dollar price was the oil price was more than $100. Now it is hovering around $80. There is a slight decrease in the border station sales in the first quarter this year, but expecting the oil price to be hovering around $80, still we are achieving significant advantage of the border sales in the first quarter also.
Okay. And what's the average throughput per station for AL-MAHA Petroleum?
What you mean the sales in terms of volume per station?
Yes.
On average?
Yes.
We are looking at around 4-5 million liters per annum. Average sales per station.
That's 4 to 5 million liters per annum.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And you have mentioned that this aviation growth has almost doubled, 91%. Right now you got additional, your share is 33% in the new contract for Oman Air. So how do you see the impact? Does it mean that, because last year Shell was not there, and now Shell has also come into the picture. So does it mean that there will be a drop in revenue and volumes for the aviation sector?
See, if you see the 91% growth, what we achieved in 2022 was because of 2021, if you see, it was still a COVID time. So 2022, we came back to normalcy, and even though it was still we had COVID effect in 2022, but now you see we expect a major growth in aviation sales, because now the tourism sector is picking up well, and Oman Air and other airlines have also opened up new routes, and a big significant expansion in the aviation sector. So it won't be 91% compared to 2021. So I'm sure there will be significant growth going forward in the aviation sales also.
And my question was, will we be able to maintain the similar volume in 2023 compared to 2022?
Yes, we are expecting more than that. Actually, our budget built to be more than what is in 2022. It's not meaning that the divisions of this contract for 3 companies will affect the consumption, because the consumption in the airport itself is rapidly increased, and we are almost in the target. At the same time, it is not that aviation business we do only in Muscat Airport. We have other also business for other entity of the government, and also this is give us more what you call privilege in adding more value for the 2023.
Okay, that's quite reassuring, Mr. Hamad. So this 59 million riyals revenue anticipation that you have mentioned for the next 2 years, this is more than 2022 revenue. This is what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. And coming back to your retail segment, you have entered Saudi Arabia. Can you give us more details about your strategy for Saudi Arabia? Because right now you have 1 station, if I understand that correctly. And what's your rollout plan for Saudi Arabia? And how is the volumes and revenue trajectory that you see for that's evolving from Saudi Arabia?
Thank you very much for this question. Actually, this is what we call it, more activities for the company to go outside the Sultanate of Oman to GCC and maybe later on to other countries also. Our plan for the Saudi Arabia actually to be there in different shapes of filling stations, more in service station, meaning including all the service required, like what we are talking and we are implementing here in Oman. So the program is to open more stations, especially in Riyadh city, because it is really very active city. And when you compare the growth is always, the studies show us that we are multiplying by 10. If it is 1 here, 10% in Saudi Arabia in terms of consumptions, in terms of the numbers also of revenue. So we are looking really very positively, and on the table now more than 3 projects in feasibility study, and it will be very soon announced for investment there by the company. And these types of project is a full-fledged project, which is meaning service center, including fuel, including other non-fuel business, which is covering all the requirement of road user runner and also the centers of cities. Our focus will be more in highway, which is crossing cities, and the location chosen is really in Riyadh, just only in the center where we want. So very positively we are looking on the growth in Saudi Arabia, and of course that will add more value for the company itself and more better position in the market.
So how many stations are we planning in Saudi Arabia? If you can give us an yearly split, then that would be very helpful.
In Saudi Arabia, it depends with the market itself. I mean, now we are in a very detailed feasibility study. We may put 5, we may put 10 stations, still not clear. But what is clear, there is very high potential to invest there. Very promising business in Saudi Arabia. And we are really very much focused in producing different business model there, which is include, as I mentioned, service business. So in our, and maybe by the end of this year, we have about 3 stations, by the next year, about 8 stations like that, because we have to catch up. And the company is one of the 13 companies that approved to work in Saudi Arabia in this business. No more other companies, and these companies will be compete for about 14,000 filling stations in all the KSA. So this is how the potential. It is really very big potential, and it is really one of the promising business activity will be there.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And what's the capex requirement for these stations? Are they similar to Oman, or can you give us some thoughts on that?
From the feasibility study, it is really similar, but it is less cost than Oman. It is not that cost exactly same what is in Oman, because the services and the requirement of, for example, for entry from the road to this filling station or to this service center is not 100% same like what we are applying here in Oman. It is more convenient and less of a requirement, and meaning you directly from the road to the filling station, whereas in Oman you need to do second road and you need to do more investments. So the investment side also inside is and the cost of the building there is less than Oman. So we are expecting not more, in fact less, for building similar service center here in Oman.
Got it. So you meant that there is a multiplication factor of 10 in Saudi. So Are we really looking at almost now we have average throughput per station of around 4 to 5 million, and are we looking at 40 million to 50 million liters per annum from one station in Saudi?
Some places could be, but when I said that, if you go for the economy of scale between the Oman and the Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
almost, yeah, it's easy to compare, multiply by 10. But really what we are generating here, because the margin in Oman much less than the margin in Saudi Arabia. So the margin in Saudi Arabia much better than Oman, and this is give privilege to gain better from the net profit.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And the commercial center volume, the commercial segment volume, you mentioned that it has decreased by almost 7% in last year, primarily because of the power generating company. So what's your outlook for this year? Where do you think the demand for the commercial segment will come from?
Actually, it's already started this year. We already, the one of the best interesting is the bunkering in commercial and bulk supply. Because commercial we meant by bulk supply and all these types of business. Due to the growth, you can see it or notice it in the country here, there is high demand in construction and there is high demand in new project coming up. This is give us more and more opportunity to be in better position. So all this what we reduced happened due to the power plant closed and changed to gas, covered this quarter. You will see the result by the end of this month. That's covered already from commercial business in construction sites, like new roads, they need fuel, a lot of fuel, a new harbor, a new these runways. All this is give us better position to cover and add more. I have some what you call indications from some of the filling points. It's almost we cross the requirement for the Q1 number of liters. And this is really very interesting because when there is economy, when there is movement in the business, you find people, companies and individuals consume high fuel. And this is give us good indication.
Okay. And see, Mr. Hamad, one of my concerns, or maybe my understanding is, when we deal with the construction companies, one of the major challenges that we have faced in the past was on the receivables. What's your experience in this year? What I understand is the power generating companies, maybe the collections are easy, but with the contractors, it might require a little more enhanced efforts. So what's your experience in this year? Are we seeing easy collections, or what are your terms of sales, and what's your experience in collections?
Actually, if this is maybe CFO will give you more experience, but I'll tell you one thing. From last year to this year, our receivable reduced. It reduced about more than about 10, 12 million, like that.
In terms of overdue, it has come down by almost 1.5 million.
Yes. This is the overdue. The total receivable itself decreased. Why? Because the market starts moving. Once the market starts rolling, and you well know this, the payment terms become, or the payment period become much easier. What we faced is last 2 years because of the effect of the market freeze due to Corona and all this fact, it's gone now. So the payment is going according to the chain itself. The client pay to the contractor will pay to all his supplier, including one of them is AL-MAHA. So the circle become rolling now. So it is much easier. And I hope this will be much better for the next quarters. Of course, we are not taking only that. There is other precaution, like we are introducing something called in top of bank guarantee for his consumption of 1 month. We got also something called diligent about each of these contractors. And by the way, AL-MAHA, most of their dealing is not by ordinary contractor. We are dealing with companies, companies, SEOG company in construction, LLC company, which is very high reputed in Oman. I think you know them, and also very branded construction company. The second thing is not only construction, there is logistics also, and there is also banking. There is also increase in the aviation business, which is also classified as aviation and commercial. All these companies is very solid companies, and the payment till now, it become much better than what we compared of last year.
Like
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Joyce, they had a tough year in 2019, 2020, and 2021 especially. And that's why you could see where we have built up the ECL provisions much more. But the good the increased oil prices has deactivated the economy in 2022. And now, there were mainly our customers, major commercial customers had problem with the collections. But in 2022, they have realized much of their dues and they were able to settle our dues. So 2022, if you see in our financial statements, we didn't make any ECL provision for the receivables. Rather, we reversed the extra provision what we had. This is because of good collections of the overdue debts we had experienced in earlier years. So 2022 collection was really good. And still, having said that, we are able to maintain. Still, we have maintained about 9.4 million ECL provision, which is around almost 17 to 80% of our receivables. So still, we have that good provision against receivables. And yes, we expect receivables collection to improve in the days to come, so long as the oil prices are up, and that's the main what do you call it? That's the major factor that will tell that the government is clearing their dues to our customers on time. So that is helping us to get the money, our money from the customers in time. So the cycle is moving, and yes, we are confident that it will the collections will be good in the coming days.
Understood. The next one that I have is on your capex requirement. For the last 2 years, the capex has been very steady, and now that we have 3 projects that we are planned in Saudi, can you give us an overview of how many NPI stations that you are planning as in Oman for AL-MAHA in total, and what's the refurbished stations that we are planning, and what's the capex that we might be required for 2023-24?
Yeah, you mean the number of filling station or the service station will be open in 2023?
Yes.
We have actually 8 supposed to be open in 2023. And also we are planning 3 abroad in KSA. So these 8, 3, now this is the 4th one under construction, and 3 in tendering stage. So we are almost on track on that. Financing this actually, if you were asked about it, it is also internal finance. We never took for financing our capex loan or anything of that requirement.
That's understood. And Philip, now that we are seeing, your payout ratio, dividend payout ratio has been increased to, you slightly increased it to close to 100%. So should we be expecting a similar continuation pattern for the coming years for the payout ratio? 100% of the profits will be distributed, or will there be anything which is retained within the company for funding the capex?
But about the share distribution, correct? Dividend.
Yes.
Yeah, dividend, we are trying to maintain that, and if you notice, if it is maintained in a very difficult situation of market or economy 2 years now, I think we'll continue because of 2 things. One of them is, investor put monies to get dividend. This is one. Second thing, it's push us more to become more and more active, to become more and more innovative in the business. Because to satisfy a requirement of investor, you need to become more and more active and more creative. And that's what gives us the privilege of if you notice, the net profit it's improved year from year, because we believe, for example, you put 100 riyal or 1,000 riyal in looking forward for, if you put it in the bank, for at least 4 or 5%. So if we didn't satisfy the requirement of investor would dislike us, and maybe it will take us to other sides of the situation. So yeah, we may continue to be the same if it is not more. That's what we are aiming. And this is really, maybe some people say the CEO or the board took the company very different angle from others, which is bigger company. Also, we have here Oman, they are distributing 40%, 30%. I didn't believe in that, to be honest. I put the money, I need revenue. How I can give the revenue to the shareholder? By working hard. And that's the equation, I believe. Maybe the CFO will be this or not.
So historically, if you see AL-MAHA, we have been paying high dividends, except probably in the last 2 years. So we have been maintaining high dividend, and with retained earnings at around 36 billion, and with reserves, building reserves of ECL and other provisions, and with the growth, what we're expecting in future, I think this high dividend would probably continue if all the other factors continue the same.
Understood. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your views on this. And wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you for your questions. Yeah, anybody else, gentlemen?
Any other question, please? Seems like nobody. There is a buddy, but maybe there is no question.
Let's wait. Joyce almost took half an hour, so I think he covered all the aspects of this. Yes, please. Wait for now.
How many participants there?
How many?
6.
Joy from security finance.
Yeah.
Hello.
Please.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. This is Deepak here from Jade Research. Just one query regarding the profitability per station. What are the steps taken by the management to improve the profitability per station in Oman?
Thank you for this question, Deepak. Deepak, your name?
Deepak.
Yes, Deepak, yeah.
Okay, what's actually during the last 2 years, what we are doing, we are deeply analyzing what is going on in each, what you call it, filling station or point of sale. And we found there is big rooms going on for the high revenue from that, from each locations. So what we do in our business plan, maximize the usage of that locations by 3 things. One of them is fuel itself and the type of fuel. We are going to introduce now very soon, maybe within a couple of weeks or a month is something called other product, which is 98. Second thing also, we are maximizing what you call this non-fuel revenue, which is meaning use correctly the location itself to generate a fuel business, and at the same time also to generate business from non-fuel. Like what is the requirement of the customer walking through that location. So, and this is based on a market study and market research, which has helped us a lot to localize the business according to the requirement of that area itself. And this is really results in a very good way and implemented now in 2 of our filling stations in one highway, in one road, which is Ansar. We generate from the business itself there, something like almost double the result we are expecting. And this has helped us to duplicate the same ideas in other, like in Muscat governorate, then we went to the Batna and other governorates now to do what we call it the service center. Service center include 3 to 4 activities. Food activity, which is most of them is fast food or coffees, or also service center, which is automobile service stations requirement, then the fuel itself. This is all give us full what we call service required daily by any road runner or any what you call this consumer sees in the communities or in the highway. That's what we did. So we raised the profitability of the business in that location almost doubled. And some of them, to be honest, almost tripled. Like in Ansar, we tripled our revenue due to the way how we, what you call, satisfy the requirement of the customer in the local area where we are operating. And this is what we continue even in the next business plan. But we add something different, which is more convenient for the customer go through that location.
Thank you. I understand that. What would be the NFR percentage of the total revenue currently? And to the profits, what would be the, is it a significant amount that is there?
See, if you talk about direct contribution, it would be insignificant. But if you see indirect benefit, that if you see the people coming to the filling stations taking for fuel, that indirect contribution is much significant than the direct contribution. But having said that, yes, in the years we are it's going to increase in the coming years. With
the plan, to be honest, for the new business plan, we are looking as a company, myself, to see about 30% of our net or revenue coming from the NFR, non-fuel revenue. And that's what we are working on it. Some new station now, or almost all the new filling station, it's full pack of the NFR. Because of what? Because to pack, the continuity of the fuel business is always in danger because of the other media come in like electric vehicles and hydrogen and others. So maximizing the profit of the location, continue also the stability of the company itself, we need to maximize the non-fuel revenue also and continue in our main business, which is fuel and other media of fueling vehicles. So that's why the business plan, which is finished this year, and the coming one, which is we are now making it or drafted, is to focus more on non-fuel business or non-fuel in the fuel location itself. So looking in percentage, about 30%, I hope for the next 3 years be contribution from this non-fuel business.
As you see, the industry dynamics are changing. If you see one now is a fairly big country, 47% in population. So now filling stations are no more just a station where you come and fill fuel, but it is attracting a lot of young population into the filling stations where they can relax and have various refreshments. So we are looking into expanding in these areas to catch attention of the youngsters coming in. So this is I'm sure going to be, as our CEO said, yes, it's going to be our major revenue earner going forward.
And the second thing also, there is some conference internationally said there will be charger or electric charger for vehicles, and this is need time from 5 to 8 minutes to 10 minutes. So the passenger or the driver of that vehicle need to have something to do during this time, 10 minutes. So that's why non-fuel revenue, you will notice it will be increased in fuel stations in the next years, because you need coffee to sit, you need grocery maybe, fast food, whatever, during charging your vehicle by this fast charger. And that's why internationally now all these fuel retailers going more and more for fueling, and at the same time for non-fueling business in the same location. And it is really very interesting. One of, if you are here in Muscat, please go and visit our filling station in Al-Ansar, the new one. It's full of fuel and full of non-fuel business like fast food, coffees, pharmacies, grocery. And this is the latest one now we have introduced it to the community.
Sure, thank you. I get that. But 30% is a very high target of the total revenue, isn't it? For the non-fuel revenue?
No, it is not for the plan we have. It is not at all. Yeah.
Okay. And you also spoke about the substitutes like EVs coming in. We read globally that fuel retailing is transforming. I would like to understand from your end, how do you think the transformation will take place in Oman? Do you think EVs are going to take over when fuel cost is significantly lower in this part of the country? And if so, if it does happen, what are your plans to overcome this transformation or the changes that are going to take place? Are you going to go aggressively into EVs, or any strategies that you have in place to overcome this change in the industry dynamics?
Mainly mainly in the electrical vehicle business is what is talking about. Electrical vehicles.
If you are talking about transport, yes, there will be a dramatic change or a big jump there, because you know what's happening. The technology is improving every year, and what we are understanding from the manufacturers of these vehicles and transport business equipment is there will be by 2030 some cities internationally fully by only driven their electric vehicles. Oman is one of the part of the world which is affected straight by what's going on by technology. So we are ready, and believe there will be a change, but this change is not that fast, which is people they're looking for a thought about. It will take time because the infrastructure required to be available there, like electric vehicles charger, like the maintenance requirement, spare parts, not only the vehicle itself. And if you notice still Oman, there is no one, have an agent of electric vehicle. And even though you need service center, you need also equipment for charging this vehicle. Equipment which is come with that vehicle, it is very slow charging, it takes hours, you need something fast. We visited already and we communicate, we attend a lot of research and conferences happening around the world. The business is growing and is growing really more than expected, but not fast because the infrastructure needs to be available, and that's what we are working on. Second thing is also the availability of this infrastructure required the business model itself to be reshaped, the center itself where we are providing fuel now to be also reshaped. This is also need a lot of investment, and this investment is, if there is not a good size of consumer there, it will be not available. So which one will come first? That's most important. But yes, there will be a big change in business of refueling from fuel or petroleum product to other like electric vehicles and maybe hydrogen or LPG later stage.
Fine, great. I get the point. Thank you very much. Thanks for the
If you have any question, please.
We still have another 10 minutes. If anyone wants to ask any questions, yes, you're welcome. Because the annual report that consists of chairman report, management discussion analysis, corporate governance report, and financial statements have all the information related to our business.
All the structure, yeah.
Probably they are okay with that.
Just to add in one more question, your strategy in Oman would be to add more filling stations at the rate of probably 10 stations a year. That is what you are saying, right? Would this be again in the rural areas, or would it be in the semi-urban, urban locations?
Sorry, we didn't get you. Can you please repeat again?
The strategy to add filling stations in Oman. You had said 10 filling stations approximately would be the additions in Oman. Is that right? And would the additions take place? Where are the locations you are expecting? Is it going to be on the rural side again, or is it going to be the semi-urban and urban locations?
Thank you for this question. No, there will be no much in rural. We are focusing in main cities because we are doing service center, including fueling, including fuel station. So this is required more populations. The locations we have now is really in the center of the main cities. There is, except for BDO project, which is Petroleum Product Development Oman, there is different project, and that's for our 10 years. Next 10 years, we are, have a contract with them. But all our filling station, which is called service center here, will be in the main cities, in a very populated areas, where really give services to all these communities. And it is based on a market survey we done, where what is required actually, and where it is also. So all our location for this year and next year will be mainly in a highly populated area, except of course maybe for 1 or 2 for oil field business, also location. We have many stations in rural areas, and that's also we are developing them to be in better position, especially in high communities and high density areas, to be better giving or better service given to that community. But mainly these 2 years will be in main cities.
So does that mean it would be somewhere in the Muscat Expressway, Batina Expressway, that line, because competition you see is accumulating stations there. So you would also be participating somewhere in that region, right?
Yes, we have in Muscat Expressway, we have also in Batina, but we have in the main city, in the center of the cities, we have lands here in Muscat. 2 or 3, you will find it pop up for example, in Rui, in Ansab again, in Khuer, we have in Ma'adela, all this is in Muscat. In Sohar, we have also main 2 stations. In Nizwa, Salala itself, we have also service center there coming up, all in the main cities, in Sur areas, and also making revamp for the existing station in major condensed area, like in Ja'lan Market or the Souk, in this Nazwa also, one revamp will happen there, in areas like Every also. So all our focus is more to improve what we have actually now from a filling station to service center, and also focus in high velocities or high density of cars and high density of populations. That's the strategy we are doing.
No, there are 3 main growth factors here. One is the general increase in population is one growth factor, and as you can see, and the new townships coming up.
Yes.
And that's also another factor. And the foreign direct investments. So now opening up of the economy, attracting more foreign companies to, that's also a significant that also would add significant contribution. And the opening up of the hospitality sector. You see a huge number of, a big increase in number of tourists coming into Oman. So all these factors are going to increase demand for products in the filling stations mainly. So you see that could continue in the coming days.
And by the way, we are also looking forward from any of the investor, any shareholder, you have any ideas or you have any suggestions, really I appreciate, and my team too, to receive that suggestions for any add value in the filling station or in business in general, because you know the business is not only filling station. There is also a commercial business, aviation, bunkering, lubricant. All this is called AL-MAHA together, and it is also contribute in percentage wise in the total net. So really, I am interested to see the investors coming with the ideas they have, and we will look at it, of course, and take it very serious to implement it if it is, I mean, valuable and business wise results.
For sharing any ideas or these things that the CEOs mentioned, you have the emails and the phone numbers. It's already published in MSX, and it will be inshallah on our website as well. So feel free to share anything.
Yes, please.
And this session as well, it will be published also at MSX by today, inshallah. The link it will be published, and the videos will be in our website.
That's all from my end. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Basically, only two questions. Two people, Deepak and Jais.
A question or any participant, I mean, we would like to thank all the participants and for their contribution, and also, as I said, anyone welcomes to send us any suggestions, whatever, positive or negative. I am really very open for all types of opinion and suggestions. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you again next time. inshallah.
And you can always contact us if you have any further questions or anything. You are welcome to contact us at any time. You have our emails, phone numbers. You can always contact us, and we are free to give you any information that may be required for you to take decisions and to create awareness. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.